must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the political command center of Punchline Africa Television, miles away from the headquarters of Punchline Africa Television in Nairobi. Good morning, Miriam.
A very good morning to you, Doctor. Nice to see you today, and a very good morning to our viewers.
Thank you very much, Miriam. You can go ahead and introduce our guest on the panel, my great friend on the panel. Good morning. Miriam will do the introduction. She knows all the details from the headquarters.
All right, thank you so much. Our guest today is Reverend Edwin Waiguru. He hails from Kiambu County. He's a researcher on the African culture, and currently he's been a missionary in the U.S. and some parts of the Caribbean. Reverend Edwin, good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm also grateful to join this great team talking about issues to do with our life, African, and especially what is happening currently in Kenya. So I feel so proud to be part of this great team. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Sorry.
It's okay, Doctor. I want to say back to you. Yes.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Dr. Reverend Edwin from Kiambu in the backyard of His Excellency the President. Thank you very much, my comrade. Issues at hand. Today we don't have much we are going to shoot straight to the topic. But before we do that, let Miriam just bring us up to date with COVID-19. Our behaviors, our morals, our manners, they have increased the curve. The curve is gone up because when they said go and drink, we drink beyond drinking. Go and do this, we do it beyond merit. It is the same topic that touches that President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday said is a time bomb. And I agree with Pogisho. Pogisho was one of those who said, this thing is bad. And there's a time bomb unless we get rid of it. But to me, David, who has sung this thing of redemption strategy, and I'm now joined by a reverend, there is another pastor, a preacher, and a chaplain coming, Professor Onyari, who started conflict resolution. You people, I seem to be saying I have done my best. And I have sowed the seeds of a redemption strategy. How Kenyans take it from here, it should not be my business anymore. It is the business of the people of Kenya to take it forward. Without it, you can swing, you can have money, you can give wheelbarrows, you can say anything you want. But believe me or not, time will bear me out. You are coming to the same wrong direction. You are either going to kill each other on the basis of hustler versus dynasty. The haves and the don't haves. Remember when Jesus was preaching, he never said the haves should be killed. Neither did he say those who don't have should be killed. He preached in the middle. But here we are using religion, we are using quotes, we are using so many things. And we are covering ourselves in a religious temple. a temple, then we say we are hustlers. We are hustling, and others have got it already. The best word for me that came out yesterday is a petit bourgeois. There is a petit bourgeois in Kenya who says he's a hustler. That's all. And let's speak the truth. If you want to speak the truth, it sets you free. Even if they hate you. Even if you make your comments on Facebook, Matsanga, I'm not bothered. But I've spoken the truth. I've told you, go and hang on the button. Press the button of KPLC. I'm not bothered. I would have told you, there is a petit bourgeois in Kenya called William Ruto. And he does not want to be called a petit bourgeois. You saw yesterday when he came out on Raila, because Raila brought a summary. In fact, yesterday, Raila's word was a summary. Simple. A petit bourgeois. Calling others hustlers, using the tag to create a class struggle. I am not in for this, Miriam. I am not in for this. If the president does not take time, does not tame this train, if this train is going the train it is going, and you allow it to go to the public, we are creating a class struggle. I thank Kalonzo for raising it up, and I thank you, Dr. Stephen Kalonzo. You studied like I did. Not those who pretend to have studied science when they cannot make a toothpick for Kenyans. It is sad, therefore, for me, as a man who brought this strategy of redemption strategy, and I want to tell those who always run with these ideas and don't come back to ask where we have gone wrong. A redemption strategy is not a political process. You can turn it into a political process, and you will see the dangers that it is going to produce. Turn it. In fact, go ahead, you Kenyans. Turn it into a political process. Then we shall see whether you will have the healing at the end of the day. This is not a political process. This is a redemption process. We all Kenyans agree they kill each other. Even President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday agreed. He's part of the confusion. Yes, he said it. Then why do you want to politicize it? Just heal, tell the truth, reconcile, restitute. You saw my two words Miriam picked up: restitution, 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 and the reparation. Why are you forming a reparation commission? Restitution and a reparation commission. I said it. Those 5 words, if they don't belong together, shut up. Shut up. Msiambie watu. It is sad. It is good I did not even attend. I'm sorry. Restitution. You can't restitute when you are coming to query the restituting method. It's impossible. You can't go to the church and start asking the vicar, where did you buy the wine? Then when you want to drink it, can you? You are trying to ask the vicar, the wine that you are doing my Holy Communion, where did you get it? I also want to go and buy it. Ladies and gentlemen, those watching us, Miriam, those are my hard words. Truth and truth. If you create a class struggle, if President Uhuru Kenyatta allows this class struggle to go to the public, let's forget about it. Let's forget about healing. You can't heal with class struggle. There's a class struggle created here. And I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. If you are going to create, allow people, petit bourgeois, who have stolen money, who are mocking the same people that agriculture, where is agriculture? Where is agriculture? Where did agriculture go wrong? It is you who ordered people to import maize from Uganda. Then you blame agriculture. If you don't heal in your heart, Jermaine, don't tell lies. The president can make jokes, can even make drama. He's your friend. For me, I am just Paul preaching in Judea. The reverend will agree with me. I will walk home. I will go if you want me. Even tonight, even now, I will go home. But that will not stop me supporting Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to achieve a united Kenya. 36 years ago, those who were on the side that wanted to eliminate everybody in my country, today they are eliminating each other. You know how God keeps someone to see the real thing? Reverend will tell you how the heart. I'm not going to listen to Oginde, because Oginde is also a reverend of handouts. Yes, yes. Oginde is a handout reverend. Rubbish preaching. What preaching is it preaching? How do you preach and then go and line up for handouts? How? Bishop Oginde, come out and tell me which part of Bible you read that tells you to go and line up for handouts. Then come and say all of us are going to be together. Jesus drove out thieves from the temple of his father. Oginde, you are an engineer by profession. I don't know why you joined religion, theology. You would have been better drawing buildings so that they don't collapse in Nairobi. Rubbish. There's nothing there. Let's have a hardy talk here. Jesus left Jericho and ordered for a temple, for a donkey that has never done any work to enter the kingdom of his father, to drive up beggars, looters, grabbers, money changers, launderers from his temple. Tell me where Jesus got a legacy. Why are we 2020 years still having a legacy of Jesus Christ? Not only because he was spiritual, no, because he did something miraculous. He separated himself from the thieves. He said, I cannot mix myself in the temple of Jesus Christ, of my Father, with thieves. Look at the contemporary Kenya today and Africa today. Where are the thieves? One of them is going to be arraigned in court this morning. Who is always on the political rally condemning Uhuru Kenyatta? Where do they run to? Where do they run to? Where do they run to? They run to a chief priest of thieves. Reverend Edwin.
Yes, yes,
Where
sir.
do they run to? Wait, you are coming, I'm finishing.
Okay, good.
Where do they run to? They cover themselves under one cover. The cover of a man who protects the thieves. You can't do a redemption strategy if you have people who protect the thieves amongst you, who protect corruption, who have taken from the poor and then claim to be giving the poor, which is their own money. You can't create that class struggle here and survive. I'm speaking my mind out. I'm Paul in Judea. I know the threats that you have leveled on me. And I welcome somebody from Dr. William Ruto's office who sent me the threat. I'm happy. I've got it, noted it, I've sent it to Kinoti. Thank you. I'm not bothered about your stupidity. I will expose stupidity. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you had nobody to defend you. It is only this soul with this bad mouth, with this bad face, who stood up amongst the NGOs to protect against your being jailed. You are forgotten so easily because you are in power. I stood up single-handedly. At that time, I was not called a foreigner. I was called a foreigner. But this morning, you called me a foreigner because I'm voicing my things. But being a foreigner is not a timetable. I did not arrange to be a foreigner. It came by the same type of events that you are carrying out here. This could lead you to be a foreigner. I don't think Raila Odinga could call somebody a foreigner. Because Raila Odinga has lived in foreign countries using fake passports in order to survive today as we speak. So you continue calling me a foreigner, names, threats. I hate threats. I enjoy those type of threats. But I am only speaking my mind. I stand by what President Uhuru Kenyatta will say. If I'm a foreigner who came out 10 years ago, 11 years, 12 years ago, and stood firm amid this very bad tide wind of people wanting to say, release Jesus, release Barnabas, and take Jesus. Take them away. Take them away. Take them away. Let them go and rot in the Hague. Yes. Let them hear. Let the president hear. I'm a man of this Bible. Mr. President, I've read this Bible for 44 years. You see the way it looks like here? The way I've handled it, 44 years. This one here, I don't tell a lie. The direction of the BBI is not correct. And if I'm wrong, let any analyst, let Reverend Edwin, let Professor Onyari take us through, and Karanja and others. Let anybody in Kenya say I am wrong. The direction of the BBI is wrong, is going in a wrong direction. If we allow people to go out to spread hate on class struggle, it will bring a conflict, unmanageable, that can draw in. Remember, the panel, Edwin, before I leave, and Miriam and the professor, I'm sad. Poverty can create terrorism. Poverty can become terrorism. You can use poverty as a terrorist tool to radicalize people. And then you get what we call homegrown traitor terrorist cells. The type of words that people are saying on social media, and these are people who have gone to school who write. What do you think they will tell youth who drink, smoke, bangi? To do what? To come and do the terrorism. If we don't capture this thing now, I know all of you, each of you has got his own sentiments and her own sentiments. My sentiments are those, Miriam. But before I bring in Edwin and I bring in Professor and Javan, Professor, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Matsanga, Miriam, Chevan, and Edwin, and our viewers.
Thank you very much. Let's play this clip. What the Deputy President said in the Chatham House. A member of my Chatham House, I'm a member of the Chatham House. The Deputy President will not take my membership away. I'm a life member. Life member. You will never take it away. And I'm not bothered. Somebody in Chatham sent it to me. Said, remember what your man said. I have researchers. Wazungu researching for me if I want in the Chatham House. Because I'm a life member. Now let me show you the lies. The type of liar. Play the tape.
The national government should be reconfigured to comprise the national executive headed by the president and the official opposition headed by the leader of the party or coalition of parties whose presidential candidate wins the second highest votes. That is good for accountability. And secondly, it removes or mitigates the winner-take-all perception. The national government should be reconfigured to comprise the national executive headed by the president and the official opposition headed by the leader of the party or coalition of parties whose presidential candidate wins the second highest votes. That is good for accountability. And secondly, it removes or mitigates the winner-take-all perception.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands. And I surrender you to Miriam to tell you exactly whether the deputy president was mad here. Whether he was mad in Chatham House, an institute that was created in 1844 that has nurtured every human being on planet Earth who deserves to talk about political science. He told us an executive of the winner takes all, and any winner that does not take all is accountable. Didn't he say that? Miriam, didn't he say that? What did he say yesterday? I leave it to you, Miriam. The panel is yours.
All right, thank you so much. So that we get a reaction from that video there from a Deputy President, and we'll start with our guest, Reverend Edwin Waiguru. I know you've been listening and you have so much perhaps you want to say, so go ahead.
Thank you very much. First of all, I am very, very grateful to hear one-on-one from Doctor himself. I've followed him. I remember as he has been telling us, I like the way he tackled the ICC case and situation. So I used to follow him every time at JKL Live, so I couldn't miss his sessions. So I'm very, very grateful now that I'm able to talk to him and to the panel directly. The only thing I would wish to tell him is that it is still very early to wash your hand to become a pilot. This is a time that we really need your great mind. We really need you to share and tell us the truth, because not many people are so brave like you are to say such things. So I think this is a time we really need you. It's redemption time, as you're saying. So you're still in there. We can't let you go. So we appreciate for what you're saying. So on the clip we have had, and especially what has been happening on this Mirage of the BBI, we ask ourselves, first of all, when we look back how the process started and how it even went for the break. We were told that the reggae had gone for halftime, and then we got in the pandemic came in and stopped everything, and then now we are back just when we think that things are normalizing, we are getting into the new normal. But then, as also doctor said, we are seeing another peak. It's like it is coming back again. So that's something we should really look into, either realistically or even in a spiritual realm. We open the eyes of the heart and the spiritual eyes to understand why are all these things happening. And we see truly, I would say, on my own perspective, that we are in a very, very prophetic time. Whatever is happening are things that have been prophesied. And I would start by saying that, first of all, Kenya is one of the most blessed country. It's a country of God. And as I was doing my research, I met very old people, very, 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 the elders of the country. And there are many of them who believe that even the Mount Zion that is in the Bible is in Kenya. And they relate many, many things of the scripture of salvation in Kenya. So for me, I have no doubt that Kenya is a godly nation. And that's why we are even strong. And even if whatever comes our way, even those time bombs that want to destroy Kenya, God is in control. There is no way, nobody who can destroy Kenya. So, but also there are things that God allows when people try to do their own things. He can allow, and the country can burn. Look at Rwanda, what happened. And I think that is where, if we are not careful, as Doctor is saying, we may head to Rwanda situation, because people, if you know very well, the genocide in Rwanda was between the classes, the haves and the have not, and that is like what is starting. And as I said, listening, and because I come from the central part of Kenya, and I want to say, it's like Doctor is saying, that we don't want to make this political. We don't want this to get into the masses. But I want to tell you, it's already there. It's already there. We have had some Kikuyu musicians who have produced very, very, let me say, very, very bad music. They say they are prophetic, prophesying fire, that the Kenya is going to burn and all this. So this narrative of the hustler is already gotten into the nerves of the ordinary mwananchi, especially in the central province. You find very old people, shows, they are there. They're always talking about, oh, now this is a time for us hustlers. We don't want the dynasties again. So I believe, as now the panel, as we start this conversation, this communication, we try and see what can we do to soften the minds or the hearts of all those of the people who have already bought this idea of the hustlers. And like watching yesterday the launching and whatever happened, I was very, very much touched by the words of Pogisio, and that's my punchline, what I saw. And I was very, very okay. I started thinking about it. What would happen if we are not careful, and if this time bomb elapses, and the people who are calling themselves hustlers, they are being told in the grassroots that if you see your neighbor who has a lot, who has a fence or a big wall in his house, they are hiding what they stole from you. So that's the narrative that is there. So we need to be very careful. We need you, doctor. It's not yet time to wash your hand. Yeah, continue to enlighten us. So thank you. Those are my introductory phrases. Thank you.
Thank you so much there, Reverend Edwin. A lot of things you've said there that really, have shed some light on what is really going on the grounds there. So we thought it's only the young people who are identifying with the hustler nation, but now from what you're telling us on the ground, even the older people, you've heard him say shows, that means a grandmother or the elderly people there, a grandmother in this case. So they've bought this narrative of the hustlers narrative, and they really believe that it is our time right now. Professor, the dangers of this narrative that we've been talking about here for quite some time now, I believe.
Miriam, thank you for that question and what the panelists have given. out. But I am of the contrary opinion, Miriam, that you cannot have people saying yes, yes. And if we enter that narrative, we are finished. Yesterday, you heard what I told you. I told the deputy president not to go there. Didn't I tell you that? Because he cannot change. He is already opposing PPI. So we are not going to persuade him. And Miriam, PPI, since we started PPI, it is 2 years, 24 months. Let him just give us a paper of what he presented to PPI. You cannot come to just criticize what other men and women have taken time to write and present. Miriam, I want to associate myself with the court secretary general Msaturi, Comrade Aturi, that time has come, Miriam. Hakuna haja ya kutistatisha watu. Let him just organize his troops. Let him just do his campaign. We also do the campaign, and we see who wins. Miriam, I didn't like it is this Mudavadi and Karonso. You know, these men have never stood for anything. Why should we have a contested referendum? Why should we? And we should have, you know, this, we should go for a referendum. That's not a referendum. If you have read the referendum, if you have read the PPI report and you find it is not taking the country forward, go and vote no. But I want to tell you, Miriam, PPI is a good document. Miriam, why should someone have an issue with money going to the grassroots? The Chief Justice in the recent past said that Parliament must be dissolved. Now we are saying the Senate must have a half. And Miriam, we are coming with special constituencies where it will cater for two-thirds gender in the assembly. Miriam, we don't want propaganda. The report has been launched. We are coming forward. We will educate Kenyans. And if Kenyans, Miriam, with all the propaganda which will be given for them, if they vote no, we are not going to say, no, that's democracy, that's how it works. So Miriam, I don't want to live in fear that someone will come. I told him, I told you yesterday, let someone not go where you are unwanted, where your position is known. How they are used to know to answer youth from Kitale. I hold deputy president of a country that you are going to answer a youth who is expressing his views. So Miriam, on this, and the Reverend Watt is trying to say that the Astra national narrative is going round. Miriam, we have got a country to build. Miriam, tell me, what can someone tell the people of this country if you have never condemned corruption? If you have never condemned corruption, Miriam, what if you have never promoted peace? Time has come for us to tell Kenyans the truth. Time has come, Miriam, for us to tell Kenyans the truth. That's what I have to say. Time has come for us to speak the truth. The deputy president has never condemned corruption. Time has come, Miriam, when we are going to come out and tell Kenyans what it is. So, Dr. MATSANGA, don't fear. And sometimes, what happened in the post 2007-8 election, someone has never come forward to ask for forgiveness.
Prof, my brother, I am not fearing. And I want you to construct your things properly. I am not fearing.
Yes.
I am just telling you the truth like you have said. I have not feared. Fear who? Fear who? Haven't I said? You see, didn't you listen to what I said?
Yeah.
I don't. Didn't I bring you a tape from Chatham House?
Yes.
To show you that this is a man who is a liar. You want me to say which words?
That's true. Now, then we are on the equal footing.
A liar.
What I'm trying to say.
The man who went to the international community to lie, then come back to Kenyans to tell them another story. He's a liar.
Yes.
I'm not fearing.
Miriam, let him just organize his association. We will also organize men and women of God for this nation, because I know God stands for the truth. Miriam, BPI is a perfect document. Miriam, let me tell you, we will not make a document which is for everybody will say yes, yes. Even if he brings those views of his, there is someone who is opposed. So meanwhile, what we have said, and I like, and may the former chairman for the expert for the Constitution for 2010, Samba Kitonga, he read this document. Before he died, he said it is taking Kenya forward. Miriam, I did say yesterday, you look at our old constitution and the new constitution, you will find the new constitution is progressive. You read 2010 and the PPI report, you will find PPI is progressive. Who tells you, Miriam, what we are doing for this PPI? Are we going to do it for finality? No. After another, sometimes we can audit. We can find what has worked. So what I am against, Miriam, it is yesterday they gave him a lot of airtime to put propaganda to the nation. I submit.
All right, very well.
Miriam, before you go further and make any comments, I want us to read our guest who has just come, Reverend Edwin. I want to make it clear to the prof that we are on the same page. The only problem, and what you have just said, Professor, is the same as what we said. Remember, we said there's no need of pretending. This guy is not with us.
That's true.
100%. The guy is not with the president. People like the president might think Ruto is with him. Ruto is not with the president.
100%. Thank you.
That is what I was saying. Ruto is deploying a wretched earth, the wretched of earth policy, which Museveni used in 1981. And somebody in the Kenya system of intelligence, of security, they are not seeing it. It is going to come here. Did you want me to tell the truth? If you don't look at the go, and I told Miriam here to come up and see research and tell me what the wretched of earth is. You know Fenani funds. You know his policy. That's what Ruto is using. He's telling one part of the country that you are bad off because Uhuru and others took the money. Isn't it that the point?
Yes.
That's the point. Yes.
It is going to boil there. So people watching me and listening, let him listen. If he doesn't, fine. That is what I said. And the Reverend from Kiambu, I am not giving up.
Oh, great. Don't give up.
I will support President Uhuru Kenyatta. But it will not stop me from telling mistakes that we are making, self-inflicted. Why do you bring a man who has collected ideas from lumpenism? The only good word that came out of that yesterday, bombers, is Pete Bourgeois. Aida, thank you very much. This is a Pete Bourgeois. This man is a Pete Bourgeois. A man who has collected money from corruption comes up to sing and tell others that he's not corrupt. A man who told people to buy maize from Uganda comes to say agriculture sector. Surely, are we in the 21st century? You go and attack a small boy from Kitale. You know, if he meets that boy must be careful now. That boy should be given extra security. Mr. President, and that's the truth. Because for me, who is writing on Facebook, Miriam, I'm receiving horrible, terrible threats. What about the boy of that nature who is in the village? He has pointed him out. I'm telling you, this is a violent mind of the wretched of us. Miriam, why do you fear reading this wretched of us to people? What it means is Fenoni funds. Is a fear of violence using poverty as a benchmark to change status quo. And it could become a terrorist internal security mechanism if you don't check it. This man from Kiambu is telling you there's show there. They are saying,
we're hustlers.
Yes.
That's the narrative we have here.
Yeah.
He is a man who goes to church. He's not in Nairobi. He's not in MATSANGA's house. And then you come around and say you please and laugh with it. This guy should shorten. The president should shorten the route. And I agree with Onyari. Put us, those who want and those who don't want. You get my point? It is difficult if we go the route we are going now. It is going to be difficult to find consensus.
That's true.
Do you know we shall waste? What Ruto is doing is to waste Uhuru's time. Now, towards 2020, December next year, October, they will demand that the president puts the timetable for departure. After wasting all this time. And you get my point?
Oh, yes.
They will put pressure on Uhuru.
Yes.
They are not coming for MATSANGA. I don't have anything. What will they take from me? Maybe my children. But I don't have property in this country that they will come and take. But they are coming for the people who are not seeing, who don't want to prevent this route. You can't give a man who is determined, who is not remorseful. Ruto has never been remorseful.
Oh, yes.
Never.
Yes.
Never. And you keep on, giving him giving him platform to turn on us. Where the truth is this: where was Ruto when the commission was collecting signatures? He denounced the commission.
Yes.
Ruto, when the president said, let's now arrest corrupt people, Ruto went to the platform and said they are targeting Karenjin. Isn't it true, Miriam?
That's the truth.
Oh. He said it, that the DCI Kinoti must be removed. In fact, among the people he hates most, he hates Kinoti. He hates Kinoti. If he got power today by bad luck, Kinoti will be the first time person in jail. Because Kinoti went to interrogate the killing of Kenao in his office. What are you query talkers us? And this is the guy you think he's worth it? Telling a lie? He hates, when people were collecting the signatures, he was busy collecting Arambes, dishing it to Ogide, money, cars. Bishop Ogide is not worth it.
Terrible.
Even his prayer cannot touch me. Rubbish. He's a masquerade for money. What prayer? Childish young people. What age is he? You think prayer can catch? Let him go and read in the Bible and even take off his clothes and read it. Then he says it will catch. No, he's not worth it. And don't pretend he has smile, and we can't smile anymore. I'm telling you what I know.
That is the truth.
And that is the truth. Now. I am not I am saying if the BBI is going to introduce on Hasola dynasty level, we are not going to have a consensus. Sorry.
That's the
when
truth.
these Hasolas kill everybody outside the fence, they will come for you. Or when they kill everybody inside the fence, they will come back and say, who next? Reverend, where did you come? United States. How much money did you get from there? Give it to us. And if you don't have it, why have they listened to one of the healing process? Why? They have said restitution and the reparation commission.
Yes.
Isn't it MATSANGA? Isn't it my mouth?
Yes.
Yes. You think people are happy to see you lived in Eldoret for 56 years, 60 years, and you are driving to Malaba, and you see your house, there is smoke in your house, and you are living in a boys' quarters in Nairobi. Have you reparated? Have you restituted people?
No.
Nyenye.
Doctor, let me come in a bit, and because I believe our conversation, and I'm happy you are addressing even the president, because I believe he's your great friend and listener. So I happened to attend the Mashujaa Day, the Heroes Day in our county, and I saw the passion that the governor had trying to explain to the people here about the BBI. And even yesterday we saw how the governors came together and they want to take this thing to the roots. So and also yesterday, for me the best words that I had from the president was that this BBI is so good, but he capitalized on two things, that is peace and unity in Kenya. So as you are saying, you are giving or trying to portray that somebody may go and this chaos may happen, people may start burning and all what. I believe our president is God given, and we were given by God, and his prayer, God can answer our prayer, so that we don't want to hear anywhere we have conflict, we have war, we have people burning other people's properties and all this. So I hope, and the question I would wish you, when you get an opportunity to answer to ask the president, so that he will give even these governors and the leaders who are taking the BBI to the grassroots. There is one question that it will be a bit hard, and Professor Onyari has said that something very, very good came, that the resources, the money can go to the counties, can be devolved. So the big question that people will be asking, currently we see, as I repeat again, we have been having the pandemic time. So the economy has gone very down, and so the people will ask, so from 15% you go to 35%. So where are we expecting to get all these resources? I think that is one thing that we need to discuss and help. And even if we can be able to get that one, then this BBI will be a walkover. We'll be able to sell it through to all people.
Bishop, Miriam, let me just answer that one straight away.
Mm-hmm.
If we correct more, you will get 35%. If we correct less, you will still get 35%. It will be 35% of the revenue, the rest, all the revenue of the government, Reverend.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
And let's
that is the position.
All right, and
thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's just bring in Javan, who has been listening from Nanyuki. Javan Karanja, good morning.
Good morning, Miriam.
I know you've been listening. What are your thoughts of everything else we've been talking about?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to thank Reverend Edwin and Professor and Dr. Ari for the good words that they are telling Kenyans, because if we keep quiet and if we don't talk these truths, then this country will end up in the wrong hands of violence and war. And yesterday was a very good day for me as a person who have been into Eldoret and those areas that were prone to 207 post-election violence. And I say this is a redemption strategy, because when I saw that guy from Molo explaining how things are hard since that thing, then you see people are still having this agony. They are going through this pain, and we don't want to go there any more time. And that is why the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, came out loudly clear and said that this is the way we need to take this country. And I thank the president, because he said that he was a victim of this tribal kind of politics. But when you repent and you start seeing the light, that is what the president is doing. And we think all the politicians should come out and say that, because we have been the victims, we have been the people who have been dragging Kenyans to the pit of violence after every election, then we are the people who should heal them. And that is the strategy of the BBI, so that we have a fair elections, so that we have a country that is free from corruption, a country where the youths are empowered. And I want to say this, and something that I think the deputy president, as a proponent, and as he says that he is a supporter of hustlers and the young people, it was quite bad when he started attacking that young man from Kitale. And that guy has the point. We are in 21st century. We should not be using tools that were used in 16th century, in 21st century, where we need to go the technological world, where we need to have technological inventions. And that is a quite clear message. And when the deputy president starts going head on such guys, he needs to understand that he is not a supreme being. His views are views, and our opinions as a personally, as Javan, my opinion also counts because I'm also a Kenyan. He should not think that he has supreme views than other Kenyans. And he need to understand, I think he didn't know that those views, the BBI committee, steering committee, when it was doing the validation process, it collected views from Kenyans. These are not views from heaven. These are Kenyans who presented their views. And he should not try to bring it and look like that these Kenyans, their views are not making sense, and his views should be the one that should be considered. And he was given that window to present his views. He didn't it. His troops came out clear fighting this whole process. Therefore, it is hypocritical when he starts now coming out at this stage. As a professor says, the train has left the station. This is the time to heal Kenyans, and we cannot lag behind because of one person's ambitions. And the message is clear even from the president that he and the deputy president, they hand their handshake. And I have said it in this forum, they hand a handshake, their first handshake, which brought together the fighting Kalenjins and Kikuyus. And peace prevailed in 2013 and 2017 general election. Now the president, in his spiritual and knowledge and wisdom, he saw that we still have a problem. If we don't bring these people, guys from opposition, this country will continue having this problem. And he extended a hand of peace to the former prime minister. And we had the second and the big handshake that brought the healing process through the BBI. Therefore, he should not be personal. He should not think that it's bad to have another handshake. We had the first handshake, and this is building bridges. We didn't break the first bridges. The handshake of 2013 is still intact. He should understand that the president is not fighting him. He is bringing all Kenyans together because this country does not belong to one person. Nobody has an entitlement. And he should also know that nobody has a monopoly of presidential candidature. All Kenyans who qualifies and meets the constitutional requirements will be on the ballot, and Kenyans will decide. Thank you, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. So you're saying whatever handshake President Uhuru Kenyatta had with the former Prime Minister is an extension of the same handshake that President Kenyatta had with his deputy when they came together and formed the Jubilee coalition there. So let's just look at the front pages of the Standard this morning. It says, moment of truth. Down there, confessions, Uhuru reveals Ruto knew about handshake, and says tribalism and idle youth are a time bomb. So President Kenyatta yesterday came and said, no, you already knew that the handshake was going to happen about the BBI process. I shared with you. And he said, I told the deputy president, and he's here. You can ask him. So, Professor, it was confession time yesterday.
Miriam, I have never seen a honest president and a honest leader like Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. I have no doubt in my mind. You know, even yesterday, he stopped reading his speech. He was prepared just merely to address this man. And he has clearly said where the rain started pitting him and his debut. He was aware of what was happening. And Miriam, honestly, if you listen to Kawe yesterday and whereby and the Pendo, I told you, Miriam, we were displaced from Moro in 1992. We have never gone back to our farm. Nobody's making use of that land. And God has come and seen it wise that he speaks through the Prime Minister and the President that we should come together and as a nation. I always say that at some point in time, Miriam, we will check out. but we must have a secure nation and as a stable nation. Here, Papa Pendo and Mama Pendo, what they said, they hope that their Pendo should be the last person who will be killed because of a contested election, Miriam. So what we need to do, and there's something I've been seeing in the social media about children who are learning and the other one is running opposite. That's exactly what the deputy president is doing. Mm-hmm. So the president explained very well, and he means well. I don't know why he does not want all Kenyans, all of us to come together. And if you find someone not wanting people together, there is something is hiding. And Miriam have said this, and challenge me, report on me on what I'm saying. Has the deputy president ever condemned corruption? No. That is what BBI is against. Has he ever said that Kenyans should stay together? No. When you, Miriam, when you incite us, those who have and those who don't have, what are you trying to do? And from peace and conflict point of view, and what Dr. MATSANGA is trying to say, in fact, the deputy president is preparing terrorists who are going to terrorize those who have. And the intelligence of this country, and I don't know whether they listen or they correct views. If you want to go to the people of Kenya and ask for presidents, go with policies and ideologies and what you stand for. Don't say that it is because of this, because of this, that's why you don't have. So Miriam, I have no kind words with the deputy president. And if I go, I use my reverend will listen to me. Lucifer had a very high position in heaven. He was in charge of. He will sing all the styles, the tenor, bass, all of them. He will sing, but he coveted the position of Jesus Christ. Bride entered him. Miriam, when power enters your head, you can't even listen to your boss. Miriam, you want to tell me those 6,000 delegates who were there, who were in Bomas, were crazy? Of all the people who were in Bomas, who was bold, who was echoed? So Miriam, I'm a teacher. I'm a lecturer, I teach. We give deadlines. When the time is up for you to submit your assignment, Miriam, even if you come, that you have with very good answers, but we say time is up. So time for us now to go and tell people who are going around using them and the Astra things and the wheelbarrows. Time is up. Read the document, vote for it. Miriam, in any event, 2000 we had a referendum. The no won. Did Kenya stop? Kenya moved on. But very unfortunate, those who understood the events of 2007. 2010, we had a referendum. There were people who were for no. He was at no. Did Kenya stop? That's what's going to happen with the BPI. I have no doubt, Miriam, and I want to assure Kenyans that what is in that BPI is good than what you are going to do.
All right.
Because it is addressing the problem of the youth. So, Miriam, listen to the president, what he has said. Let us work together.
All right, thank you so much.
And take Kenya forward and unite the country.
All right, very well. So, Reverend Edwin, so yesterday, on page 4 of the Standard newspaper, it says a bit there, in a day of rare confessions, President Uhuru Kenyatta opened up on his role on Kenya's retrogressive politics, while at the same time revealing that his deputy was a key architect of the handshake journey. And while the DP has always given the impression that he is a stranger to the BBI process, the president said he was among the first people President Uhuru, consulted before the BBI train took off, and that the DP even recommended some of the task force members. Ruto sat silently as the president opened the BBI lead and revealed that Raila never demanded a share in government during the March 9th handshake that triggered the implosion in the Jubilee party. So I don't know what you make of that. Because
yes, thank you very much. That's a very, very, very rich statement, and it shows some hypocrisy, as Professor Nyari is saying. And yeah, it was very, very good that yesterday the president came very, very clear, because all along, whenever these people go for rallies, it seems to the people that this handshake was a secret, was something for the two, the prime minister and the president. But yesterday it became very, very clear that this is something that was had involved all the three parties. So coming now, when we hear the deputy president coming now to correct as the great professor, and I'm happy to note that he's a lecturer. I can now see his professional working. That yeah, there are those deadlines, and it is not a time when you are coming to launch something. Is when you are now coming to correct. And also allow me to now go to another perspective, the spiritual perspective, because even I think the issue of the BBI handshake came when I was in the US, and I was following very, very closely on the politics. And what came into my mind is like a revelation, was it was not just a coincidence. The question I asked myself, and I hope the panel will walk with me on this journey, that the rain started falling, this problem of disunity in Kenya started with our founding father and his rival, that is Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and Mzee Jaramogi Oginga. And now, 50 years after independence, we are when we have just celebrated Jubilee. Is it just a coincidence that the offspring, the children of the founding fathers are still in power? So I felt like for me, this was really God's plan, that after, when we are celebrating 50 years, all those disunity, the fights of the past for 50 years, it is time for them to be healed. It was time for healing. So for me, when I saw that handshake, I just went to my knees and thank God, telling him, God, you have seen our country. It has been many people have been killed. As we have had many people during elections, they lose their life, they lose their property. So I felt like that is the end, and it was supposed to be, the handshake was to be the end of the conflict, and we were to have one Kenya, as Prime Minister yesterday was saying, BBI. And then people respond, one Kenya. That was what I saw in with the handshake. But then what came up, and this is where I now blame, my biggest blame is with the religious leaders, with the church. Instead of now that handshake, taking people to Uhuru Park and people going and praying, those what we are talking about, reparation and all this, and saying, now let us heal Kenya, we are now one, we will never hear the Kikuyus and the Luos fighting again or being, so we didn't see that, but what we saw is the formation of another thing, another rival, that is Tanga and Kieleweke. So I think that is where, for me, I felt like the religious leaders, those who, the president, the founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, called the church leaders and told them, you are the conscience of the society. So if the country goes the wrong direction, the person to be answerable are the spiritual leaders. So if we are to go to the wrong direction, as Dr. MATSANGA was saying, I believe the spiritual leaders are responsible. So from your statements, from what we heard yesterday, it was very, very good that the president came out clearly and said that he involved his deputy and he brought the opposition so that Kenya will be one. And that's our prayer. That's what we all look forward to. We don't want to go to the Ugandan way, as the doctor was saying, the reason why he's part of our country now. Thank you.
Even bringing us the spiritual perspective on what that handshake meant to you when you saw that happen. And it's not a coincidence that 50 years later, the offsprings of the founding fathers are here also trying to they're still in power and trying to move the country forward. So it's not really a coincidence from the perspective you brought in. Doctor?
Unmute.
You're muted.
All right. Okay. As Doctor admits. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Reverend. Thank you very much, Professor. There are a few things that I want to mention. For a healing process, for any process, there must be the following things. Roadmap. I hope Miriam or Karanja is taking note of them. A roadmap, a timetable, a deadline, framework, time frame. I don't know whether all of them they are not the same. For any conflict, any healing, anything that you mediate, those components must appear. Roadmap, timetable, deadline, framework, time frame. To me, yesterday, we are left with an open-ended BBI. It has not, yes, any intellectual who sat there or who listened or who was watching the Kenyan event, we did not come up with the roadmap. What do we want to do? When are we presenting these things to the parliament? When will people start? When shall we end? What framework do we have? A framework, we have documents, but we don't have time frame. Now, with this hustle and the dynasty formation, which is now being thrown to the people, and I'm shocked, you are even saying the shows down in the ground are saying, this is what we want. If you don't have these 5 components, they're here. If you don't have them, look at any peace agreement signed. You can't keep on running. There must be a deadline when you should stop. If we gave Riak no deadline, he would be still in Khartoum. Now, you open up a document and you have not put a deadline. That's one. The roadmap, how are you going to conduct any fresh ideas? That's why Ruto was able to come and mature his views, yet nobody counted him, not even the president told him that, my friend, you were not able to come and give the views to the committee. In fact, yesterday the committee was embarrassed. The committee was abused because they were open in all sessions. The Senate, the Speaker of the Senate, the Speaker of Parliament, all parastatals, the police commissioner, the IDP, the intelligence, everybody went and put their, isn't it, Professor?
That's true, Dr.
And the man did not go there. So the man came to steal a show. You see, anybody who has stole a show, turned the show into Fenton Fancy Fury. Even he came there, and that's why some people came up to say no. Some people who understood the fury, the audience, they were going to go for him. Yes, people were not, we are fed up. Outside, look, Reverend and the chaplain.
Yes.
In Meru on 18th of October, what did the Ruto say? Ruto said, even if you bring Oburu Odinga to be the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, we shall defeat him. What did on 26th of October, Monday, yesterday, what did the Ruto say about the IEBC? No, Miriam, read it. It is there with you. What did he say? What did he say about the IEBC? I can do it for you. Don't worry. 18th, he said, Oburu Odinga, even if you bring him, no problem. Yesterday, he turned the whole thing upside down. He said, IEBC, how do you elect? How do you come to elect? What about if the one party of this? Have you seen a double speak? Double speak?
Yeah.
Double speak? My brothers and sisters, double speak. Now,
Yes.
Another thing, let's go. Because we only lie on facts. People might think we are enemies. I'm not an enemy. I rely on the facts. And the fact is, on the question of class struggle, what did he say? He said, I speak on behalf of millions of hustlers. You hear that? Jermaine, you are in this country. You are in front of your president. You are saying the president does not speak on behalf of the hustlers. The president speaks on behalf of the dynasty. Mujama alikuja just to embarrass the president. Because every Kenyan watching this, have you seen his TV? Have you seen what his comments are? His pseudo accounts that he has created. He went and stuck on Ogide. Let me take you back. In 2007, in December, and 2008, show me among us the leaders who were in bombers, who stood on a table, who jumped on a table in KICC. Can I play those clips for you?
Yeah,
This afternoon. This afternoon I'm playing them. Who jumped on the table? Who jumped on the table and even wanted to step on what is the commissioner for
Kivuitu. You mean Kivuitu?
Kivitu? Threw Kivitu out and the files and jumped. It was Ruto who stood on the table. Raila watched like this. Orengo watched like this in this place. I'm telling you.
Doctor, there's something you've brought up here about the lack of deadline. Well, you outlined those a couple of things that were needed yesterday. And one of our viewers here, Francis Moses, thank you for writing to us. You're saying, Dr. MATSANGA, you're right on the fact that BBI was not even launched. The president had a written speech but never even read it, but deconstructed the whole BBI until Uhuru's speech couldn't make sense, so Uhuru resorted to justification. Yet President Kenyatta did not read the speech. And if you saw that, President Kenyatta was very annoyed, and that happened also, I think, last year during the National Day, when also Ruto brought in the shoe story, and he was so annoyed he did not read. So when you see him not reading his formal speech, you know President Kenyatta is really annoyed, but he was able to compose himself, and everything went on so well. But here's the thing, Doctor, you brought about this process, and we really did not see the deadline, and you know we talked about it yesterday, even with my fellow colleagues here, and I was just wondering, is it because the president and perhaps the committee still feels that this process, for it to be inclusive, there still has to be more consultation being done, reaching out to some Kenyans since they presented this report. So they want to hear what are Kenyans saying about it before they give these timelines on, okay, so this is what we want to do. This is when we expect the referendum to be done. Was it left because they feel for the purposes of unity and consultation and inclusiveness, perhaps we need more to gauge how Kenyans will receive this, and if at all we need more consultation? Could that be one of the reasons why Professor may use it? Yeah.
No. Let me, because it was my turn. You came in to give me a supplementary point.
Okay.
Miriam, you are right.
Yes.
You are very right. Tuko na shida hapa. I know President Uhuru very well from 2008 up to today. He felt very annoyed and very ashamed for his deputy president. When you watch Shakespeare, Julius Caesar, the play of Julius Caesar by Shakespeare, Julius Caesar stood to dismantle Brutus. And you could see when he was speaking of those plotting to kill him, Brutus was very uncomfortable. You have not watched that play again. All of you. Uncomfortable. Even Brutus tried to come to be friendly, to tell Julius that you have forgotten something. That's what happened yesterday at the Bombers. The president reached a point that what's the use of reading this speech? Since the man has even come here to confirm what the intelligence people have been telling him, Onyali, that's the intelligence people have been telling him, that this man is saying this about BBI outside there. So yesterday, the president in his mind is this guy, kumbe what people have been telling him is true. You know, the president acted like he did not expect his deputy to come here to repeat the things that reports. Remember, the president gets reports on a daily basis on what is happening, what he's doing. Then this said, you know, president was at peace yesterday. He concluded one thing yesterday, that whatever they tell me about Miriam, or they tell me about this man, or Karanja, or Reverend is true. And he abandoned his speech. He said, let me now come out and also tell Kenyans that I started this thing, and this man is even the one who helped me to find the commissioners. You know, that is how Julius Caesar finished Brutus. And the Brutus did not take after that. It took only a short time before Brutus and the Cassius decided to go back and said, you know what? If we leave Julius Caesar for a long time, he's going to finish us. They plotted and they came and they killed Julius Caesar. So Miriam, anything without deadline, open-ended mirage. I think I brought this topic for nothing. It's a mirage. Don't you see a mirage? You walk and you don't have a timetable when the bills should be finished in the parliament. When should we finish the bills? When should we have a question? When should we have a question? Yes or no? Or we all agree and move on. Change the constitution the way we want. It can be done. Still, the international standards would like a vote. And the vote must capture 40% of the registered voters by international standard. So we have not said. Yesterday, we've opened a box for more corruption, more money to be eaten, no deadline to the commissioners. You don't know whether they are still waiting, as Miriam says. Are they waiting for more suggestions?
Consultations.
Consultation. Are we doing a consultation to accommodate one lumpen?
No,
proletariat?
I'm very sure there's a reason as to why. President Kenyatta must have a very good reason as to why this process is going the way it's going, and I think let's trust that they know what they're doing. So,
no,
Doctor,
he does, yes. But I am telling you before God. Yesterday, Reverend is here and the chaplain is here. They are church people. This man yesterday came to terms with God.
Which one, the president or his deputy? All right.
President terms with God.
Okay.
He said, what my senior intelligence officers have been telling me is true. You know, when Kenyatta stood to speak, he could not believe. When the DP stood to speak, Kenyatta could not believe that this is his DP, deputy president. They have been giving him reports that this is what he does when he goes to political rallies. He tells Ichungwa and Gachagua and this other to come up on Uhuru Kenyatta. And there was Esther Wahome. Is it Esther Wahome and Gindi Nyoro? They come up and Moses Kuria.
Alice.
Your friend from Kiambu.
Alice Wahome and Gindi Nyoro.
Yes. We have a big bunch here.
And he tells them, go for him. And when they are harassing Kenyatta on a political rally, he's smiling and doing his legs like this. In fact, shaking his legs, while the Kenyatta is being hammered by Chungwa, by the rest of these people. Have you seen? So yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta said, this is the truth. Kumbe, this man does these things. And that's why he abandoned his written speech. He said there is no need of even reading this. Let me also go bare knuckles. Let me tell this man that he was there. Let's go to the TV. He came around and told us that he did not know anything about BBI. He said it was only Raila Odinga who contacted him. Now, yesterday the president said, you know, we were together. Ask him here. The guy could, if there was a hole for him to dig that chair to go down, he could have done that.
I think that's the point. He stood and went to President Kenyatta and told him slow down on the revelations.
Let me I have something to say.
But Professor, before you come in, because I see participants for our next show are already trying to join there. So I'd like for us, if you all don't mind, we perhaps give our last submissions. And as we do that, before you come in, Professor, I'd like to ask our guest today, and then I think you'll come after that, Reverend Edwin. You've seen the way the church leaders in this country and the church has been involved. Right now, it's very difficult to separate church from the politics, and that is not how the church used to be. Not all churches. There are still other churches where politics has not been given a lot of prominence. In the situation that we are right now in this country, as President Uhuru Kenyatta said, let's stop pretending. We have a problem, we're very tribal, we are not united, and we need a cure for this. Do you still feel, as a leader of the church there, that the Kenyan church today still has a place when it comes to uniting and the moral authority in this country, or they have lost that?
Thank you very much. And the word I captured there is the moral authority. And I quoted the Jomo Kenyatta when he said, and he told the leaders, the church leaders, that they are the conscience of the society. So I believe, and this was referendum 2005, when the church even took side. And it was divided. It was divided. Some part of the country, the great leaders would say we are yes, the other side would say no. So from there we started seeing some even conflict between the church leaders themselves. And then as we have been coming now with the BBI thing, we see people taking the church as their platform for campaign, which is very, very, very bad. And I want to say that is something that I realized, like when I went to back there in the US, anything, any function, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a wedding, whether it's whatever, as long as it has nothing to do with politics, not even a single politician is allowed to even to speak. I want you to, if you can be able to reach and see the barrier of President Bush, George Bush, some few years ago. I watched it live. I went through and I watched everything, and I was so surprised that even in such a prominent person's barrier in the U.S., we didn't see even this other president speaking, the governors, the senators. No, it was the burial ceremony, and they were keen to the program. But here, what do we see? We see funerals everywhere. That's where politicians want to go and speak. And I feel I wish even the BBI can bring something like that. That any function that is not political, politics should be spoken, because those are some of the areas that have made the church to lose its moral authority, because people go there, they speak, and that's not their audience. They have not brought those people to listen to them. And then there's the issue of handouts. We have seen the deputy president going and giving money to these religious leaders. So I think we are not heading the right direction as the church in terms of being conscious of the country, of the society.
Thank you very much, Reverend Edwin. Thank you so much. A lot of issues that you brought in there. Professor, you had something to say, and the good Reverend there.
Let's just have my final thoughts.
Backs. Yes, as we.
I need to say that Miriam, the PPI is on course. And that I have to assure you that we have to midwife this PPI. And Miriam, when you do an exam and then you forget that you did not answer one of the questions, and when you come out, you find that you have got answers to that question, you don't go back to write. So on PBI, Miriam, it is only the grammar and some of the views which will be captured. Because if you can see what the deputy president said, is unhappy with every article of PBI. Judiciary, IPC, name it, inclusivity. So it's not for the PBI, and we cannot force him. It is his democratic right. He sees the current constitution that is good, that if he becomes the president, he will govern with it. But let Kenyans continue reading the document. Let the timetable come out. Let us go for the referendum. Let us vote. Whichever side which wins, Miriam, Kenya will be Kenya. And my parting shot also that let people continue washing hands, wearing masks, keeping social distance. Corona is here with us, and we are losing people daily, Miriam.
All right, very important reminder there. Let's not lose sight of that. We still have a pandemic that we are dealing with. Karanja, your last thoughts,
yes,
and then the doctor will end it for us.
Yeah, thank you very much. And let me make my final submission of this great show. And I would thank all the people for their good words that they have said. And let me first of all say this thing of the church. The church should come out and should not be used by politicians. And I think now we have hungry people as the bishops and the reverends who think that money is everything. And they have turned the church to be something else. And I think if Jesus was here these days, he could have whipped them out of these places of worship, because they are really doing contrary to what the Christian moral teaching is supposed to be, because they're supposed to give hope, they're supposed to give spiritual guidance, but what they are doing, they are being controlled by they are giving by politicians. That is why the church is nowhere to be found in these matters. And in the matter BBI, I want to urge all Kenyans, read the document, because it is here with us. Let us make an informed decision, and let's not lean on the side of propagandas and these people who are making all this noise. We know the deputy president was opposed to this constitution that we have, the 2010 constitution, but he didn't tell us when he started supporting it. he didn't tell us those things that he thought were contentious when they were solved. Therefore, this is a man who supports something when he feels it's favoring him. And that is not a quality of leadership, because leaders should be selfless. They should come out and to defend and to support what will benefit their congregants. And that is something that all leaders should aspire to be. And he should not divide Kenyans on the basics of hustlers and those who have, because at the end of the day, when these things will erupt and hustlers start going out there, getting things from the people who have, then this country will run into war, and that is not where we want to go. Let people be trained to work hard and to have an honest living. That is the thing we should do. But this culture of handouts will not develop, because you saw even the former vice president saying that when he went somewhere in Nyahururu, he was asked what he came with. You know, Kenyans are starting now to think that they're supposed to be given things, but not to work to get their humble and honest living. That's something that all leaders should refrain from, and as Kenyans, we should also try to have that moral, upright society. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ivan. Doctor, you can end it for us.
Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you very much, the panel. Thank you very much, the ministers of the Church of God. Both of you, Professor Nyari and the chaplain, Professor Nyari, and the Reverend, my friend. Mm-hmm. In ending this Mirage and not healing process, it's a Mirage politics versus healing process. I want to quote Proverbs chapter 20, verse 17 of the Holy Book. And it reads, "Food gained by fraud tastes sweet to a man, but he ends up with a mouth full of gravel. Make plans by seeking advice. If you wage war, obtain guidance. A gossip between confidence, a gossip betrays confidence, as so avoid a man who talks too much like a Ruto. If a man curses his father or mother, his lamp will be snuffed out in pitch darkness. An inheritance quickly gained at the beginning will not be blessed at the end. There ends my sermon. I don't know. It is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 17 to verse 23. I want both of you to go and look at that when we meet tomorrow afternoon. It's a very big, and you know, someone has already undermined the Father. Who is the Father? I am in the seat running that side. You are coming running backwards. You don't want to wait for me to deliver to you the relay baton. You see, boss, Reverend, this is my Bible.
Good.
And if Ruto does not listen to these words today, mark it 27th, the year of our Lord, October 2020, they will come to eat him at the end. And mark me, if you are planning a war, be careful.
Thank you.
Obtain the guidance. Obtain the guidance from who? From those who are there who put you in. is planning a war, the wretched of earth, using populist hustler versus dynasty. This country cannot come to a conclusion of consensus. Without roadmap, timetable, deadline, framework, time frame, you cannot conclusively finish this entire exercise. We continue with the discussion in the afternoon on unfiltered. Is it the science or common sense? Because yesterday we saw some common sense lacking out and the science lacking out. 160 counties, each one to have one high court. I don't know. Whether it is, if you're a scientist, one of the things that Wally Senyika said as I end, most of you who have read the book, The Lion and the Jewel, he warned you. He warned you that if you are an academic, never use academic to reason in public. Use the common sense to reason in public. Go and read that book, The Lion and the Jewel. You will find a Lakunule called William, who came to reason to the public with scientific method, that he had come from Britain with a trouser hanging in his knees. Until the villagers looked at his knees, he said, but our son, this is not a trouser, it's more or less of a skirt. I close my submission.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. And just to encourage Kenyans, yesterday the government made available some of the copies there, an abridged report, abridged meaning the shortened version of the steering committee that is available to all Kenyans out there. So if you can get a copy of yesterday's paper, Standard and Daily Nation, you can get. So in this week, this is the older BBI, the first draft that was released in November, and this was released yesterday. So we shall be going through all this because I think we have a duty to let you know really what is inside there so that you have informed information. Thank you so much. We'll take a break and we shall see you in the next a couple of minutes. Bye-bye for now.